Hi, everybody. I'm running just a little bit late. And I do apologize for that. Oh, come on. Oh, sorry. I lost you. Gosh darn it. Well, we'll give it a second. Hopefully, we can get through live tonight and have a good evening. So, tonight we have an interesting live. I'm excited for it. If for no other reason than to look at an animal that I happen to think is one of the cutest animals in North America. But more about that a little bit later. I am Nature Guy X46. Excuse me. Let's do that again. I am Nature Guy X46, and I am passionate about wildlife and wildlife conservation. Tonight, we are looking at a smaller carnivore from North America, and while not the smallest canine to live in North America, it is without a doubt the most unique canine. But just how unique, you'll have to wait to find out a little bit later in our video. And I'm not going to go any further without having people actually in live. So there is that. Hopefully you all are having a fantastic Friday, a fabulous Friday, in fact. We are having sort of a interesting time in our evolution of the channel. I know it doesn't appear this way, but I am trying my best to bring you new, more exciting topics. Hopefully in the new year, doing some better, I'm not saying better videos, but more interesting videos. Hopefully I'm in the right spot. Because I'm not seeing. Oh, there it is. Why does it always start with top chat when I want live chat? Somebody answer that question for me. Hi, everybody. It's okay. Yeah. So make sure that you have hit if you're just now coming into my channel and you want to subscribe, because that would be the right thing to do. Make sure you click on notifications so that you can always find out when I'm going live, because why else would you want to be a part of something if you're not going to be participating in it? Am I right? I'm right. I'm usually not always right, but sometimes I'm right. So today we are going to be talking about the gray fox. Yes, that is the topic for tonight. It is the gray fox, not the red fox. Hi, predecessor. For those of you who have never been to one of my lives, I can honestly say that we are one of the friendliest people on the internets, unless you tick us off, and then, hey, stuff happens. Its scientific name is such that I am not going to try to pronounce it. We'll talk about that. Keep that in mind. To a degree, yes. I don't know if they're exactly in the same areas. There may be some overlap. I am going to see if I can highlight just the scientific name so that I can insert it into live. Oh, thank you, predecessor. I usually have it covered, I feel like. So that is the scientific name for this critter. Broken down, it basically means tailed dog or gray or silver. I think so. I think I remember you. Actually, no, it's not combed. Haha. But gray foxes, they tend to favor woodlands, deserts, and grasslands. Now, this is not an animal that you're gonna see in urban areas, typically. Although, who knows, in green areas in cities, perhaps, but not really an urban animal at all. How are you doing, football edits? Now, this is an animal that can be found from Canada all the way down through Venezuela. They can reach 47 inches in length and weigh in at 6 to 15 pounds. So they're not a super big dog. Their coat is salt and pepper, sort of like part of my hair, with black and orange and white mixed in with it. I'm going to see if I can find... The last time I did a search for an animal, I couldn't find it. So I'm sort of hoping that this time... I would assume so, yes. They are already out. I can't find a really good picture. Yeah, they are. The only other animal that I think comes sort of close to that, I mean, there are other animals that are spread out. I literally heard this book creak. That's never a good sound. So these guys are scavengers. But they're more than just scavengers. Because they will go about and eat other foods. No, the gray fox. So I gotta find him again. Oh, there he is. So this guy right here. Whoops. This guy right here is a gray fox. Not the best picture. Unlike a red fox, which has a white tip on the tail, gray foxes have a black tip on their tail. And they are very cute. Now, these guys, even though they are a scavenger, they are going to be feeding on live animals and plants as well. So their diet includes things like small mammals up to the size of a cottontail rabbit, birds, amphibians, reptiles, arthropods, so insects, stuff like that. Carrion, fruits, and vegetables. And yes, they are omnivores, meaning they eat both fruits and vegetables. Now, these guys, unlike red foxes, which can sort of be seen all the time, these guys are going to be active mostly at night. Now, that doesn't mean that they can't be out, during the day. They do have predators, things like coyotes and bobcats, large raptors, and humans. I can't speak for the ones down in South America. They probably get fed on by a whole different set of predators. By the way, I'm going to take a minute to tell you that Exploring Nature now has a guide that I will be following from here on out. It's basically a template, and so you're going to see sort of similar things that they will all follow the same format. I will also be doing a format for the habitat focuses, and eventually all of the other live topics will follow the same. It's really nice. Now, gray foxes, I mentioned at the beginning of the live that gray foxes are a pretty special canine, but I didn't tell you how special they are. Gray foxes tend to be secretive, more so than the red foxes. What makes them so unique is that they can literally climb a tree just like a cat. And they will take to trees to hunt their prey, as well as to escape their enemies. I think it's pretty cool. Gray foxes have rotating wrists. I've even read where they can rotate their forelimbs. I don't know if that's true or not. They also have semi-retractable claws, sort of like a cheetah. I think. Maybe not like a cheetah, but they can sort of retract their claws, very different from any other dog. Now, gray foxes will mate from February to March, and their gestation period lasts about 52 days. It is not set up. There it goes. Okay. Sorry if I repeat this. Their gestation period lasts about 52 days, after which the female will have 3 to 7 kits, which will be born in April or May. Yes, arboreal means they live in trees. Or they spend time up in trees. Fathers do take an active role in caring for the kits. Now, by wintertime, the family sort of goes its separate ways. As previously mentioned, the gray fox is a predator and a scavenger and will also eat plant life. When they eat fruits, this small canine also helps to disperse seeds throughout their environment. That is fine, Dinozilla Rex. We are glad to have you. As always. Hey, 7-inch. Now, it's not really common for me to cover an animal that is that is not necessarily in trouble conservation wise. According to the IUCN Red Book, this animal is of least concern and their population is listed as stable. In Indiana, where I come from, this species is on, sadly, a decline. Things like habitat loss, diseases like distemper, and competition from other predators are not being their friend. I know 7-inch and Dinozilla Rex just came in. We are talking about the gray fox. However, and I knew this was going to happen, so we're going to go through. I'm in sort of a transition with the channel. And it's not a bad thing. Distemper is a disease that affects dogs. Now, there may be other forms of distemper. But let me just really quickly. There are some signs of distemper. And there are a lot of them. A lot of them. Early symptoms are going to include fever, loss of appetite, and eye inflammation. They're going to have discharge from the nose and eyes, coughing. They're not going to be very active. Vomiting, diarrhea, walking in circles, and they can't follow a straight path. Head tilt, lack of coordination, nervous system disorders, thickening of the nose and the foot pads, pneumonia, skin sores, pain, obviously, seizures, and encephalitis. And it is highly contagious. as well as potentially deadly. Puppies have an 80% mortality rate from this disease, and adults will see over 50% mortality. So make sure puppies can get this vaccine between 6 to 8 weeks of age. This disease isn't limited to North America, so anywhere you live, you're apt to potentially run into this. So if you do have dogs, make sure that they're vaccinated. And if you don't know if they're not, if you don't know, ask your vet. Because raccoons can carry this, is my understanding, as well as other animals. So it's a bad one. Now this says I have one person in live. I know that's not true. I couldn't tell you, Carol. I could not tell you. How is everybody doing tonight? I didn't say it was wrong. Okay, at this point in the live, I am going to open the door to questions about the fox. If there are no questions, then I'll open the floor to regular chit chat. Okay? And this is going to be the format. So we'll talk about the animal, we'll do the questions, and then we'll go to regular chat. Oh. Yeah, right now it says there's 2, and I don't know how many. Oh, it says 2 people watching. It sounds like it's pretty quick. If your dog has any of these signs, immediately contact your vet. And they do need a yearly booster on this one. So and any animal, so it's important to know that with this distemper, that all wild canines can get it, raccoons can get it, and skunks can get it. So if you have raccoons in your neighborhood and you have a dog, equally important that you get your animals vaccinated. Cats can become infected, but they probably won't get sick. Unlikely to get sick. It can be prevented in dogs and ferrets. And the reason I say ferrets is because no. Why in my head do I think that skunks are related to ferrets? Why is that pinging in my head? Yes, they are. So I would imagine that things like badgers and otters and weasels and polecats and martens and wolverines probably can all get that disease. Um Now there might be hope. 1 in 2 dogs that get this are not going to. One of them will not make it. A polecat, usually it's a ferret, but depending upon where you live, some places call them polecats, but a polecat is actually a ferret, not a skunk. But some places in the United States call them polecats. Dogs, very often, if they survive the distemper virus, they're going to have nervous system damage that there's nothing a vet can do for them. And it is airborne. So sneezing, coughing, or barking. It can also be transmitted through shared food or water bowls or toys. And yes, a mother dog can pass the virus to puppies that aren't born yet. So, very serious. There is no cure, no antiviral drugs. So basically what they do is they will do IVs to deal with the dehydration, medications to prevent secondary infections, and they will work at controlling the rest of the symptoms. And if they're in the vet, they will be isolated from other animals. So that's a little bit about distemper. It also says that where did it say it? Once a dog has distemper and they survive it, they gain lifelong immunity. So that's pretty cool. Any other questions about the fox? Puppy, and the puppy gets it and it survives, it's going to have tooth damage from it. Yeah, if they can keep the dog alive during that time. I believe so, predecessor. They are red foxes are slightly larger Sorry. Red foxes are slightly larger than a gray fox. At least weight-wise, length-wise, gray foxes can be a little bit longer. You're welcome. So, that being said, if you are not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and click the like button. And if you're watching after the live, let me know where you're from and leave me a comment. Also remember, if you go in where it says somewhere, it'll give you the choice to, when you subscribe, it'll give you the choice to receive notifications. If you click on personalized, you'll get notifications. Hopefully you'll get notifications when I do go live. Is there anything else? So the next live is going to be Saturday, and the topic is Great Salt Lake. 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Hello, everybody that just came in. I'm hoping we have talked about the gray fox tonight. If you have questions or comments about it, you can put those into the chat, and I will do my best to answer them. Now, I have to say, my reasons for Great Salt Lake are sort of my own. I have been to that lake 3 or 4 times in my lifetime, and it never gets old. I've never, ever gone into the water for reasons, but it's still really cool. So we will talk about the lake, its makeup, the animals and plants that live in it or around it. That live is going to be either the 17th. It's something like the 17th or the 16th. Oh, that's the wrong. I clicked on the wrong thing. I am sorry. It is December 17th. And it is a Tuesday. So I will come in, I will start live, and then I will switch it over to subscriber only. And it's going to be venomous animals. Wow, I guess 7-inch must be tired. I haven't heard from him in quite a bit. I'm hoping other lives will be a little bit longer. If we do these in the spring and summer, the template, well, I'm glad he did. The template that I was able to have made suggested live animals, and I'm sorry, but I can't do a live animal of this particular animal because it probably is illegal. For me to have it. Oh, shoot. I'm glad he made an appearance. I see that my short with the rock in it, asking what is it, has gotten people actually participating in it, which is really cool. So hopefully when I do another one of those, it'll be the same thing. That makes me happy. Next week, I should have 2 days. It is not a rock. It is a mineral. Yeah. I will have 2 days next week where I won't be babysitting. Had a little chat with my niece-in-law. Yeah, exactly. So I feel like I'm making inroads on that. Maybe. Me too, Dinozilla Rex. Me too. They are, I think, and now I've never seen one. At all in my life. But they definitely are. They're definitely cute. Little boogers. I think I'm going to start making... I think I'm going to start doing a disclaimer when we do trivia. Because I feel like the last one, I just was all lost. Hey, if you think you're learning stuff, I'm learning stuff. Like, I knew they could climb trees, but there's still things I don't know. I believe so. In 2 weeks' time, or maybe 3 weeks. No, it's next week. It's next week. I am doing a video on an animal from Canada. It is endemic to Canada. Well, I always tell people at the end of my videos, never stop. Well, how do I say it? Always keep learning. Yeah. There's times when we have fires out west, depending upon the size of the fire, we can get smoke here in the greater Chicago area. No, it is not Canadian Mounted Police. That is not. Nope. I said animal, not people. Yeah, if you stop learning, yeah, learning does not stop with school. Endemic means that they are native to an area and only that area. So, like, you can't say that a gray fox is endemic to the United States because it also lives in other places. Something like the American beaver. Yeah, I did say humans are animals. But I am not talking about Canadian Mounted Police. Because the animal that I'm going to be talking about is actually extinct. So, yeah, that's wildfires are bad. You don't agree with what, predecessor? You don't agree with that? Or and that's okay. So let's talk about that for a second. Okay? There are things on my channel that I try to stay away from. One of those is evolution. And one of them is this discussion. But I think it's also important. Scientifically speaking, we are an animal. We're a mammal. So now, what is a mammal? Mammal is any animal that has hair, that gives milk to its young, and there's some other things thrown in there, but basically speaking, that's where we fit in. We are identified as a hominid. We certainly are set apart from the animals that we think of. as animals, we're not we have a much more highly developed brain. Much higher, a much higher developed brain. Yes. Young are born alive. I don't necessarily believe in evolution. But if you were to look at how science has identified humans, well, Dinozilla Rex, I do not force anybody to believe what I believe. If a person says that they don't believe it, that's fine. But I'm going to explain my case, and that's everybody is welcome to their beliefs, especially in here. I am not knocking religion. Okay? So when I say this, I'm not knocking religion. I'm not taking anything away from the creation. All I'm saying is that scientifically, according to scientists, this is where sort of we fall into the spectrum of classification. So, I don't know when, according to science, we broke away from. Scientifically speaking, there was a common ancestor between chimps and man. Long time ago. That chain has changed hundreds of times, and that's fine, predecessor. That is equally fine. But as a science educator, I have to give both sides. I have to be I have to be fair to both sides. I'm not suggesting that this is the way things were, because obviously I wasn't there. I believe we were placed here, that we were made in God's image. I believe that. But my training in science has taught me this. It doesn't detract from what I learned in the Bible and what I've been taught at church. Does that make sense? Understandably. And that's why it's important to discuss it, but I don't think it should affect. No, and that's not my intent. I'm not trying to tell predecessor or Carol or anybody else that they have to believe it. That is not my place at all. There are if you look at genetically, chimpanzees and humans share 90, I think it's, what is it, like 98% of our genetics. Yeah. So enough about that, though. The next live will be tomorrow at 6. And that's fine, predecessor. It's okay to discuss it, I think. What's not okay is to say that somebody is wrong for their beliefs. That's not my, or to condone them for their beliefs, which I'm not going to do. I don't necessarily believe that everything that I've been taught scientifically. Yeah, that could be a real thing. If it's not caught. Unfortunately, once numbers get to a certain point, it's harder to make a comeback. Time will tell on that score. I was crushed, I will say, when I did the research for one of next week's videos. I was hurt. I was seriously hurt. But you guys will find out about that next week. And I hope I haven't offended anybody. That is not my intent. You know, endangered animals, it's hard to figure out I'm doing or hoping to do a video on shoot, on pigeons, and it's scary. The wild rock dove is basically extinct in the wild because we have bred domesticated pigeons to the point where they're everywhere. And the wild ones can breed with the domestic ones. And what happens is the genetics get muddied. And so a pure wild pigeon probably doesn't exist. That's the same reason why, at least in North America and the AZA, we don't really house No, I go live on various days, but I do get off. I do get off of YouTube. That sounded bad, but oh well. Um, the sad thing is, is that some people just don't care. That's the sad thing. The AZA is removing Bengal tigers from their, they will not breed Bengal tigers because the genetics in North America are bad. That is part of it. And rather it's, climate change is part of it. That has been a thing for years. But there are other factors too. We can, but we have to work with other countries, and other countries have to figure it out. Russia is making attempts with the Siberian tiger. I have not heard that, but I wouldn't be surprised. In the right areas. And I don't think they're big humongous flowers. And they don't have to be. They just have to be flowers. I have no idea. Predecessor, I have no idea. I haven't seen him in about, 2 weeks? Maybe longer? I don't think. I don't know if we were having some issues with him for a little bit. I heard he wants to. I know he wants to go to Mars. I don't know. I think we're still a long way from Mars. Yeah, it's been talked about, predecessor. And they've been seriously trying to figure out how to do it. Um so they're saying that supposedly it's a 3-day trip to the yeah, that's true. Um People going to Mars would basically have to be self-sufficient. They would be traveling for 3 years. Mars is on average about 100. I think she meant heat. Mars is about 140 million miles from Earth. There would be a communication delay of up to 20 minutes. You would have to ration food and supplies. And yeah. So I don't know if it'll happen in my lifetime. NASA does have a thing of all about exploring humans to Mars. If you want to check it out, you can check it out. Yeah, I don't. Dinozilla Rex. Yeah, we can send unmanned vehicles and stuff to Mars. I just don't know about people. Yeah, I just usually I'm optimistic. Not so much on this one. In case you didn't hear about it, we had an asteroid disintegrate over Siberia. I will take it. See, I don't know. I don't know. You couldn't you it would be they had a asteroid disintegrate over Siberia. Eventually, it would be like people on the space shuttle. They find that the human body just doesn't stand up to the anti-gravity or the gravity. There's a defect that happens in the bones, I believe. I'm I'm not worried about I'm not really worried about it. I think we stand a better chance of living in the ocean. And I'm not talking like down in the depths because I just yeah, there's too many uh variables. If you look at the earth, we're positioned in just the right spot in the solar system to get just the right amount of heat and just the right amount of um light. Everything about the planet, from its position in the galaxy to just everything, is so perfect that if it were off, if we were in Mars's position, nope. If we were in Venus's position, nope. Now, I do believe that there are rules that have to be followed. But yeah. I'm sorry, predecessor. Well, yeah, I don't know. The earth has gone through a lot. Good night, predecessor. I'm going to say goodnight so that people can get to sleep. I'm going to stop for the evening. Good night, everybody. Remember to never give up on yourselves. Always keep learning. And why can I never remember the last one? Anyway, be good, everybody, and I will see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Bye.